So, so last week we talked about data types. We talked about how you can. We had a recap about variables, how you can use variables, about that the different data types. This morning we're going to be talking about strings, numbers, and array. There are methods that actually work. There's how there's something that you would like to do with a string. Probably you want to concatenate. Probably you want to slice. Probably you want to remove some characters. You want to convert a string to a number. All those type of things. So it's possible to use JavaScript to do these things. So I'm actually going to look at this. All right. So let's see. Let's see. Right. So let's talk about string methods. So JavaScript treats primitive values as objects when executing methods and properties. So when we talk about primitive values, those are like your strings, your arrays, objects. So you can do methods, you can do a lot of things with JavaScript on your strings in particular. So say for instance, now you have a string. A string basically is characters that are joined together. It's just like a line of characters. Characters are like your alphabets, your numbers, like one what would I call it? An alphabet, like so. Um, so you probably want to get the length of a string. It's possible to do that with JavaScript. Say for instance, you want to extract parts of a string. You want to slice. You want to get a substring. You want to get content. You want to change a string to uppercase. You want to change a string to lowercase. You want to concatenate. You want to tree. So, we're actually going to look at all of this. What is happening in the chats there? All right. So let's get our hands dirty. So just do this. So zoom in. Okay. So I'm opening my console. Okay. So let's see. This here. So let's play around with this. So let's say we have let's favorite. I didn't know that was my favorite. So let's favorite the pizza. And then for instance, now we now want to get the length of favorite. So favorite is the name of my variable and the value is pizza. So I want to get the length of this string. Say, let me just say I'm storing it in the variable. So let's string. I believe you can see my screen, right? Okay. Okay. So here now we are trying to get the length of this string. So we have a variable, we call it string length, and we're saying we're using a dot here, and then we have this length. Now I'm actually expecting an output here, but you can see that there is actually nothing. There's nothing coming up here in the console. And that is because when we talk about methods, you need to have like a bracket at the end of this. So trying to get the length of this. It should actually work. This length here should actually work. You don't have that bracket. This is a variable. That would just be a repetition. This is a repetition. I should actually do this. Yeah, it's a repetition. So let me just confirm. This is my function. Oh, sorry. This should be. I think I know where the problem is. Okay, so sorry about that. Um, I was actually opening a different. I was opening this index of HTML, and this is not this landing.html. Actually, not our app.js is not linked to it. Yes, I think I should actually do that when dealing with prompts. That's so when you guys were actually using it in the project, I was like, somebody does not even know what the person is expecting. He was asking for it. Okay, so back to this. So uh actually said there should be brackets here, but they shouldn't since you're looking for the length. So when you're dealing with lengths, you just do a length here. So you see we have 5 characters here. So if you check this now, check here, you notice this is one, this is line 1, 2, 3 after JS. This is line 1, 2, 3. I'm also logging this is my variable here, which stores the length of the right. So, so say for instance, what if I had spaces in between? So let's see. I have 10 characters. So let's see. So we're counting it one after the other. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it also counts even the spaces. So it also counts the spaces. You can actually do that. Actually just yes, it also counts the spaces as part of the length of it. Oh yeah, thank you. So check again. This is 1 by 1 to 2. So we have this here. All right, so that's about length. So the next thing to look at is yeah, when you want to slice, when you want to cut out the part of the string. Those of us that slice things out. So slice is more like cutting out. It's just the literal meaning. So and when you're using that, there are different ways of using it. Let's say you want to extract part of your string. So we have favorite here. Let's say we want to slice out. Just going to the comment here. And then I'm going to say extracting. Yeah. And I'm struggling with spelling. Maybe I'll also add grammar like this. Okay, so let's say once so when you're extracting, you can either use slice or you use substring, or you use so, so these are three methods you can use to slice out uh, strings. So how do we use this? So I'll just create a variable and I'll just call it set sliced. So just call it. When you're trying to slice out, a string, what happens is that, so let me just put this first. So it takes two parameters. This slice method is a method here. So this slice method, it takes the start and then also where you will end, where you want to cut from. So where are you starting from on this string, and then where are you ending? So those are the two things. So an important thing to note is that it starts from, it's more like it does this like it's an array. It starts from 0. That's 0 and then end at 5. We just continue of this. So let's check what this gives us. So it gave us pizza. So start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see if I make this 4, what happens? So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, then 4. 4. So it cuts out from 4. So this is where it's ending. So it's taking 0, 1, 2, 3, and this 4. So from 4, it just slices it out and just returns the other part that is left. I don't know if do we get that? Yeah. It returns that. Okay, so what it does is, like I said, when you're using slice actually, it has where you want to start from. Yes, the end number is not included. So it starts from a starts index and then stops before the index that you say it should end. So that's what happens here. Yes, it cuts out from the end index. So we said from 0, so it takes this P as 0, 1, 2, 3, and then from 4, it just slices this out and returns this first one, this piece. So that's what actually happens here. We get this. You understand this? Okay. So let's see how substrate works. Okay. So I'm saying when you're using slice takes into parameters. And the first one is where you're starting from. The last one is where you're ending. So when it reads this number, this string, it starts because you set it at 0. So what if I actually did 1 here? Let's see what it does. So it starts from this one. It starts from I, which is number 1. So it views a string. We're using slice. It actually views the string as an array. So the first one starts from 0. The second one starts as in is 1, 2, 3 till the end. So when you're saying slice, you're saying start from the index. So these numbers are actually indexed. So start from 1 and then stop at the number before this end, before this end index that I set here. So I don't know, do you get that? So that's why when we are logging this now, you see that it starts from 1 and then stops before the first this here, which is A. So giving us IZZ. So do you understand that? All right. So let's talk about substring. So how does substring? Oh, but then again, let me still talk about something here. So what if these numbers are negative? Yes. So let's say, yeah. So let's say 6. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it stops here. And from 6, remove 6. I make this going back to okay, the negative part of that. So if I come here now, okay, so you see now, it also counted the string. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So this is, it also recognizes the this also takes note of that. So the other thing to talk about is when we are working with negatives. So let's say 1 minus 7. So what will this give us? Have an error. Okay, so it actually starts, you are right, it starts from the back. So it checks for position minus. So it's looking for -1. So let me do this rather. So -7, then stop at -4. This is a so it's giving us ZA. Those are just random figures that came out from my head. So let's see, how does this even work? So it starts from the position -7. -7, that is from the back. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so from behind, so this from behind now, it starts from here. Then we're saying stop at my. It depends. It depends on one just do an interview and then they just say so let's see -1. Let's see what it says. So on these methods, you just learn them. Sometimes you may not use it until one day when you might need it. So let's just check. Okay. So if we are saying -1, this is 0. You've seen this. Okay, so if we're saying okay, so if we're saying -7. So we're counting from behind. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 from 7. So you're removing from 7. 7 is going off. And then you want to get from 1. So this is 0, 1. So these two are off. Then you have -7 is not included. Yes. So it's actually tricky. It's actually tricky. So if you're doing the reverse, this is what happens. This is included. This is 0, 1. So this one is included. And then this 7 is not included. So if you're doing the reverse, this is included. This number 7 is not included. But you're starting from behind. So we are saying include A, this is 0, 1, include this one. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from here to here. So that is what we are slicing out. So it depends on the use case. You might have to use it when you're working with arrays or something like that. You might want to slice out a particular URL from a word. Let's say you're saying www something, and then you want to cut it out, that kind of stuff. So that is when you use slides. So there are actually use cases for it. Yes, there are times when you use slides. All right, so we've talked about this. I hope nobody's confused here. So now let's talk about so what if we use only one number? Let's start from there. So let's say from 5, and then you omit the second one. So it will slice till the end. So it will do 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and this goes on. So let's see. Oh, Yeah, it actually starts from 5. So it starts from 0, 1, 2. Yeah, it starts from 5 and then goes till the end. So when you're not giving it get end, it just assumes that you want it to cut from this particular number till the end and then return that on the string. That's what happens here. Let's talk about substring. So it's substring. If so, let's just do that. So substring. So substring is similar to slice, but the only difference is that the start and the end values. Okay, so let's look at how this works. So anything less than 0 is actually treated as 0. So there's no I don't think there are no negatives here. So it has to be positive, positive numbers. Okay, so let's say we start from 5, then we are going to get 9. Let's just start from 0 and slice, have a substring 5 characters. So it's giving us meal. So start from 0 and then stop at 5. But it's now giving us this other word. So it removes from here. Okay, so what happens with substring is that you're saying start from this number and then remove till you get to the fifth I call it element or index here. So it starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from 5 it now displays this as it now returns this. So this pizza is up. This pizza is up. So this is the start, this is the end. But it includes, so it starts from number 5. What people say so from 2 and to 5. Let's see what does this mean. Okay. Okay, so we have where we are starting from. Okay, let me go. Oh, I've not console logged this. Really nice. I will check your sense. Let me just comment that one so I don't get confused. So let me see. So we have ZZA, and we are saying start from 2. So this is 0, 1. So start from 2, and then stop at the 5th one. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. So it's returning ZZA. So we are starting from the second item, which is, so the second item is included Z, 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 A. So from here is off. From the beginning is also off. Yes. So this is what happens. I don't know if we get it. So we are saying create a substring. Remove the first 2 items. The first, yeah, the first 2. So starting from 0, 1. 0, 1. Then here. So this is the second one. So include number 2, include the second index. Then count up to 5, and then exclude the remaining one. So start from Z, Z, A. All right. So that's how substrate works. That's how substrate works. Okay, so let's do 3.7. So starts from the 3rd, then stops at the 7th. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So this is 0, 1, 2, the 3rd one. So it starts from the 3rd one. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. So from 7 down is excluded. So that's from the 3rd one, 3rd inclusive. Then yes, when it gets to the 7th one, it comes from that off. So that's what happens here. So I believe we can play around with substring to see how that works. Let me just comment this so that I know where my mind is going. So we want to try sub str. So all of them, they're just ways of slicing stuff out. So how does sub str works? Okay, so says, so let me just get that sub str. Sub str. Just do 3. So nice lining that. Yeah, so I'm right. It's actually correct. There's a method like that. And then we're supposed to not keep doing that. It's a meal. Okay. So so it gives us this. So what really happens here? So you're saying start from the 3rd one. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it starts from here. And then we are now counting 7 things. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this other one, this last number here, the way this works is you tell it where to start from, and then you pass a length of characters that you need. So if I said I needed just 4 characters, what happens? 1, 2, the space 3, and then this other one 4. So you tell it the length of what you need. Then you tell it where to start from. So, yeah. So we get that. All right. So let's talk about how do you replace content? So let's talk about replace. There is a strings. So let's say guys. So we're saying replace for the replace string. You now pick a word. Sam means answer me, so something like that. All right, so that's on the lighter note. I don't know why they are happy about it. So we're saying replace meal here with dinner. So if I console log this, so tells us it tells us that it's pizza dinner. So we've replaced that string, this meal string, this meal. We've replaced it. We need this. So we've replaced meal here with dinner. What if I need this? I check. So it takes a particular string and then replaces it with the word it wants to replace it. So do we get this? Do we understand this? Do we understand how this works? Okay. So let's now talk about what if we wanted our favorites to be in uppercase or lowercase. So I'm just going to say, let's talk about uppercase. So uppercase string. Let's it be. So notice what we've been doing. So what we've been doing is that for us to use a particular method, we need to use a dot. And then aside the length, for the other methods, you need this bracket. So length is the different one, but these other ones there, you need this bracket as if you're calling a function. So we have this favorites, which is our original word. Did this primarily one. Okay. So this is it. So when you use dot to uppercase, it actually changes the word And then let's convert this our uppercase string to lowercase. So instead of favor right now, I want to use uppercase string. And so you see why variable names are important. I'm using this it here. Can I console log that? Okay. So it returns it to this. Returns it to lowercase. That's what happens to uppercase. So let's take note of some of these things. So the last one that we'll look at for strings is string. So let's say, for instance, we had a word like this. So you see, we have this space. I don't know how many characters it is, but let's even console log. Let's check for the length of this because I don't know how many, or who knows how many characters are inside here. Can you guess how many characters are inside here? Mark, is that a guess or you're certain? Okay. All right, since we are doing guesses, so let's check. 17. Who said 17? What's the secret? I don't say she like Natasha. Natasha likes all this type of things. Thank you. Three musketeers. Okay, so let's see. This is let's say 1 0. Okay, let's say 1 2 5 6 7 8 9 10 12 13. I don't know the magic that you did, man. That's something. I don't know how you even see it, even think about it. No, actually, we have 17 characters inside here. That's including the spaces. So we want to trim this now. So for us to trim this, yeah, probably. So we'll say trim string. So remember, I don't know if we remember how this even works. So first of all, we declared this, and then we assigned this to this. So now we're now saying the trim string is equals to this same trim string dot trim. This is how trim. This is trim. It's now replacing, because if we console log trim string now, it won't give us this original one. So so when we talk about, when we use something of this sort, it trims this out. So it reassigns this, what we got here, to this value. Now, if I console log this, you will see that it gives us, instead of giving us that space, the space from earlier, it now gives us, let's do this, let's do a length here. It now gives us 11. And the reason is that it has taken off this space, this extra spaces. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you're using length actually starts from 1 to 1 to, so this gives us 11 characters. So, but the thing is, when you're doing something of this sort, this is your original thing. But now we're reassigning what we trim out. That's why we are now getting a different thing. Is anybody confused about this? Is anybody confused about this? Or we get it? I'll take it. That's a yes. So the next thing to look at now, let's talk about numbers. Okay, Tolu, what's your question?
Sorry, sir. The trim, so it does not remove white spaces that are in between letters in the string. Assuming like you put a lot of space between hello and world, it does not trim it.
It doesn't. Just trims from outside. All right. So let's talk about numbers. Okay, so what do you understand as numbers? Like, what are numbers? What types of numbers do we have? You can just reply in the chat or just say so. Yes. Let me go back to this slide. Yeah. Okay, so have different so here now JavaScript numbers. So JavaScript has I'm trying not to confuse people. I can actually run it inside my inside VS Code. I know I'm using it. So JavaScript has one type of number, but this number can be written with or without decimals. Okay. So how does this work? So I'll just do a let's. So let's just call it. Let me just call it int. So let's int be this, and let's float this. So we can have numbers that are like this. We can have numbers. So we can also have numbers with exponents with the check. So we have a number like this, and we have exponential factor. So let's say 2 exponential. So let's also okay, let's also look at this. So we can console log a couple of things. So we have 10, 10.5. I remember we say 10 exponential. Having 3. That's 2 times 10 raised to the power 3. Those of us that don't like maths, like I said, when you're using JavaScript, you play around with maths once in a while and once in a while. Not about using position absolute and all. You like counting money back. You can stop counting that one. Okay, so that's so we've seen how exponential. So we've seen how exponent works here. So this is 2 exponential. So how about exponential minus 3? So what would this give us? Okay, now let me give you money and then don't count it since you don't like this. Okay, so to give us yes, to give us 0.02. Yep, 0.002. So the way I was actually primary school memory is still in my head. So this is more like this is a different way of writing it actually. It's 2 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. So the way my dad actually taught me, you say it's more like this is 2. You're starting from behind, you're going 1. Then you're doing so this is you moved 1, moved 2, this is 1, 2. For those people that use number line, so you do a dot and then you do a 0. So this is 2. It starts from behind now. 1, 2, 3. So your point is in front. Okay. So whereas this other one, the one without minus, you have to now multiply by 1,000. Yeah, maths is 4. Maths is actually 4. So let's go back to our slide. There's a whole lot to cover, and I actually want to do that. So we also have not a number. So when we talk about not a number, so NaN means not a number. So say for instance, we did something of this sort. Sorry about that. So I'll just do it. Just do it here. So let's x equals to 10 divided by. So I want to console log x. What do we think this will give us? Somebody is saying 2. Wow, that actually worked. Okay, so it gave us 2. Now, how about we check is this a number? Let's see. So I'm going to use it's not a number. Let's program this. What am I missing? Okay, it should be capital N, not a small n. So this is not a number. This is not a number, is also a method. Let's confirm this now. So you see. So we actually did that. We actually did the division. And it took this value. Took the value instead of that this is a string. 10 divided by string 5. It was 2. You're happy about it. Wow. So let's confirm. So using is not a number. It's not a number. It now tells us, okay, you now put in this value. So because this stores 10 divided by this. So it's stored inside this variable. Now you're now passing this variable inside here. And then you're now checking if this is actually a legal number. So we have legal and illegal numbers. So that's what happened here. So it's not a number, it's used to check if a number is actually a number, like it claims to be. And it returns a Boolean. That's what we are seeing here. So it's saying false, 159. So that means what we got here as our answer is not a number, it's not a legal number. So it returns a Boolean value that indicates whether a value is a reserved value, not a number. That's what VS Code says. So Tolu, yeah, what's
sorry, is not a number, right? Doesn't that mean that we are checking if the value that we're passing is not a number? So if it produces false, doesn't that mean that false, as in like false means that it is a number, and true means that it is not a number? Yes. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
okay? Is it okay? You mean literally?
Okay.
It's just checking. Yes, if you're going
Is it
literally, that's using English now. Actually, using English that works. You're checking, is this not a number? Okay, okay. You mean okay? Let's confirm with maybe a 5. Let me be certain for speaking English. Okay, right.
exactly? So it's checking if it is not a number. So if it is false, that means it is a valid number.
Okay, okay. So let's see. Thanks for that, actually. Okay. Where is this coming from? So it's not a number, checks if it is a number. If it is not a number. But the English is now confusing me. Okay. It's checking if the output here, if it's not a number, it returns true. If it is a number, it returns false. Okay, so because I reversed this now, so it's actually showing true because A divided by this does not give an output. But using, yeah, so the previous one meant if it's false, that means it's a number. If it is true, that means it's not a number. That's the actual, that's the correct way to put it. Okay, so Do we understand this now? We understand this. Yeah, so a whole lot of English, there's a whole lot behind it. So let's just speak it one at a time. So let me see. Let's just, so you can also convert a number to string. Let's do this. Let's convert our int. Okay, so string int is equals to int dot string. Trying to console log this doesn't give us line 162. Let's see. Okay. String. I'm not getting this. So is it it's so let's just do a type of because seeing and not believing. So I'll just do a type of let me just of type. Return this. Okay. I was now scared because I'm expecting strings here. I'm expecting strings, but it's outputting it like it's a number. So, so if you're using a dot to string, you actually, yeah, it changes your alphabet to string. I think we're on track now. So what happens is that it converts. I'm not getting what you're trying to point out. So it converts this. Yeah, it converts it to string. Yeah. We use a dot to string, it beats that number and then converts int to string. That's what happens there. So you can also pass in a number instead of if you didn't store it in a variable. Let's say you're using a number directly, you can just say maybe in string. It'll give you string 18. So okay, so it's even a string because why it's here indicates string. So that's this is a string. I think I was expecting something else. All right. So that's more about string. So what about exponential? When you're working with exponential, let's see. Once you want to change something exponential. So let me just use my views. So I say let's, yeah, no, I will share it after class. Okay, so I want to explore, okay, very funny names. So I want roots, but that's not dot exponential. Then we need to pass how many decimal or how many decimal places we want that to be. So let's say, for instance, I need 3 decimal and press 2. Then I want console log. So what will this give us? Apache, I'm waiting for all these gives. Okay. All right, so let's see. It returns a string. I was expecting something else. Yeah, so it returns a string. Returns a string. So let's see, we say 3. Or so that is more like, where is it? Sorry. This is 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 0. That's more like 10.5 exponential times 10 raised to power. Okay, please. A whole lot of maths. 10.5. Yes. Then power 3. That's more like, okay. That's what we have, this value here. Try this in my head. Okay. So this is, so it does a 3 decimal places. Okay. So 3 decimal places. So let me try another one actually, because what I'm getting here is it's saying it's doing a mass not finish somebody. So let me try. So let's do a, I do 18 here, and I'm doing exponential. Let's start from there. Okay, so it's more like this works. So the number actually has to be a, what I'm seeing now, it needs to be a 166. So 3 decimal places. 18. So the first number, 1, 2, I don't know what this is. Let's not dwell. I don't. Let's not dwell on this. Because an additional 0. Oh, max is not admit. Okay. So it means an additional 0. We're saying 3 numbers. 18 times. So why does it have to give us something this complicated? This is more like, is it not more like times 1000? And then you're now rounding it. Yes, okay, yes, I'm making that. So it's more like times. It's more like times 1000. And then you now round it, you now make it to be a decimal. Okay, so please let's just move back to something else. Thank you. Yeah. So let's talk about the next one I want to talk about is a fixed. You're thinking that she's a scientific calculator herself, right? Okay. Okay, so why am I having this? So console.log this. Why am I having an error here? Let's just look at the error messages because invalid regular expression slash. Okay. This is where the problem is. Yeah. So let's see. So what we are saying, when we are saying to fixed, you're now saying add after a decimal point, add this thing, or move 3 decimal places. So let's say we had 1.8 here. Then you're trying to do a 3 decimal places. So it's more like so one. So after the decimal point, you have 3. You have 3 numbers after the decimal point. So it just depends. There are use cases. There are times when you have to like use when you want to round off your number and all of that. So let me see. So these are just we actually adds at the end of so because we have one item here, so that means it needs to make this to 3 places. So 0, 0. Just make it up to 3 decimal places. So that's max. Max is let's just okay. There's another mistake Something I just remembered something. So so there's a way of there's a way to convert variables to numbers. So, say for instance, now I say we use let's 10 equals string 10. Okay, sorry, 10 as a word. And then we want to convert this. We want to convert this to a number. So one of the ways that we can do that is using parseInt. So parseInt means convert this to an integer. Convert this to an integer. So if we console log this. This is 175. I have a whole lot of console logs. So it gives us, see now this has the same color as this other one. So indicating that this is the number. If we do a type of here. So type of small letter. Tells you that this is a number. So you can use parseInt, this method, and then you pass in the string. This if you do this, someone is start thinking about that. You want to try everything. Wow, that's strange. Wow, I would like to see this. What is this? Not a number. It's not a number. Then we now have type of. What is? Can you imagine? So not a number is a number. Probably because we're using parseInt. So converting this, converting 10 as a string using parseInt, and then we're checking the type of, it's now saying that it is. Now says that it is it's a number. Oh, you thought it would do abracadabra. So that's the strange thing about JavaScript. So aside using parseInt, we can also use number. Yes, capital N. If I do this, tells you is a number. It has converted that string to a number. Yeah, it has converted the string to a number, but this is my number. So whenever you're working with this, that means this has to be a string number that it gives you what you're looking for. So let me remove this type of. So it just knows that it is converting. This gives us a number here. So you can use number, you can use this. So if here is a string, it just knows that it's converting to a string. So the output is supposed to be a number. It knows that it's converting to a number rather. Output should be a number. If you do a type of, that's why it shows you that. So the other thing that we'll now talk about. Okay, yeah. So Tolu, while you're asking your question, yeah, what is it?
So what if you put a letter in between 4 or 5 numbers?
What is going on in your head? Okay, it's not a number. It's not a number. Thank you for adding that. The use case is in the loose head. Hey, all right. Yeah, so let's talk about so we've talked about so you can also do for floats. So say for instance we have 10.5. So you can do a pass float. They check imposter syndrome. So pass floats. So pass floats. So it does this. So what if we use pass int instead of floats? This is actually supposed to give us a float. So floats are those ones that have decimal numbers, while ints are those ones without decimal numbers. So what if we do a pass int here instead of a float? What happens? Does anybody know? Round up. I mean, that's what's coming here. You see a 10, yeah. She said at 10.5. Yes, it truncates the decimal. Yes. Okay, okay. So that's this. That's what goes on here. So the other thing that we have to now look at, so we talked about, let's look at arrays. And I'll still be able to read them. So let's array equals to this. Now, like we know, array is used for storing a couple of things. Now, so we've talked about, no, this is so small. Sorry about that. So we talked about how you access arrays, like arrays. So let's say we want to get the third item. We want to get number 3 here. So we do a log array number. So remember that we said arrays are 0 index, so they start from 0, 1, 2. So if we want to print out number 2, this is what we'll get. I mean number 3 rather. So 0, 1, 2. So this is it. So we check, have a tree. So what if we want to print out the whole array? So we just pass the array like this. Have this. And each of these has the index. And there's the length there. So that's what goes on with arrays. So okay. So it's possible to change, let's say, it's possible to change, what do they call it? To change an item. So say, for instance, we want to change number 3 to something else. So we can say array, then you pass in, so since it's number 2, it's equals to, okay, so if I bring this, my array, if I bring this, know that this thing it goes from top to bottom. So that's why I'm bringing this here. If I place this before I change this, let me just do this so that we see what happens. So when I do this, it prints out the original version of this. But when I bring this down, so your position, the position of your console.log means is important. So you see now we've been able to change a particular item. This is now not instead of number 3. So because we placed our console.log below after below the conversion. So that's why we have this. If we place it above, we get the original version before the conversion. Let's just take note of that. Okay, so we can also get the length of an array. Same way, dot length. We have 5 here, so there are 5.
Yeah, so guys, I think network is starting to have its toe. Okay, Olojiko is back. Yeah, we are going to have the Git conversation, Barack. So I think Ogo is almost on before he has the Git conversation.
So let me just try and rush it. So we all know how to get. Can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we know how to get the first item of an array. How do we get the last item of an array? I want answers. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what you're saying, if I'm getting you, let me do what Norman said. Norman said you should do this. So we have a different. Okay, so yeah, Tolu is right. So I'll do an array of length with -1. This is stop. Okay, so okay. Yes. This array dot length. Okay. Okay, and it's giving us, okay, this number 5 is confusing. Okay, so this number 5 is actually, let me change this to something else because it's more like the length. So this gives us the last item. Do we get that? Remember that we said this thing is 0 index. So you actually start from 0. If we start from 0, that means this is more like what's the name of that max again? This is like not geometrical progression or arithmetic progression. Look, okay, so this is more like or zero here. Or zero. This is zero, zero minus zero, so it gives you a zero here. So this is more like, yeah, this is more like um, 1 minus 0 gives you 1 here. So that kind of this thing. Sorry, 2 minus 1 rather. This is the length from here to here. This 0 is 1 minus 1, which gives you 0. This is 2 minus 1, which gives you. So yes, this is how to get the last idea. So let me just put it here. Last item. Then the other thing that I want to talk about is how to push and then pop. So pushing, how do you push into an array? So we have array. Pushing has to do with adding at the end. So you want to add a different value. So I'm just going to say so I console log my array. So you see that so this is what we have now. So Lovett was added to the end of the array using push. Now, how about let's say array so array.pop actually removes from the end. So I'm going to leave this array here so that this console log here. Then I'll place this another console log for array. So this is array before the pop, and then this is the array after the pop. Let's see. So before the pop, we have Lovett. After the pop, we don't have Lovett anymore. So pop removes from the end, push adds at the end. So the opposite of this is shift. Is an array method, shift, and we have on shift. So array.shift all right, so we're using shift. Shift removes the first item. So let's do our array again. Let's not get confused. Also logging a whole lot of arrays so that we know what happens before and after. So you see now we have so the first item is removed. So with shift, you're removing from the front. With pop, because it's maths. You just need to go through it again, and then you know this. actually interesting, especially the array part. So arrays are fun to use. Why is it bringing up this suggestion? Okay, so we did shift. So shift here, shift adds to a beginning. And then on shifts, oh sorry, this removes. Then this adds. Yeah. So if we console.log, so we now have Obuneme in front. So this is more like us just playing with the array and doing a whole lot of things. So we also have slides and splines. So it's still more of it's still like cutting out. So, okay, so yeah, let's just pause on that for now. I think that's where I'll just stop. So in the next class, we should talk about loops. Talk about loops. Then talk about conditionals. Yeah, loops, conditionals. Then we'll talk about how to use how to loop. Yeah, loops and conditionals basically. Over arrays and all these things. Okay. So let's just let's talk about Git now. So based on the collaboration task which we had to deliver or well, kind of before Sunday. So I just want to talk about collaboration. So the whole collaboration thing. So let's talk about it now. How do you work as a team? How do you collaborate? That's more like what I want to discuss now. So let's say your team, I'm just going to create and let's create, let me just create so inside projects, I'm just going to create a folder. This is KodeCamp 2.0. Just create a folder. So just call it a group. Hello. So inside here now, I'll just create the usual folder. My JS. Very this class. Yeah, I didn't even see that. CSS. And I'll just do my index. So index. Okay, so I have this. Yeah, something just happening behind the scene. Okay, so I was using command line to do. Okay, so I have this now. I have this. So I'm assume I am the team. I have this folder now. Then I am creating a, let me just go to GitHub. This is just for to bring us up to speed. So I'm just going to grow. It's, I'll just create. So I want to add this up. So, so I need to do a git init. So this is more like, yeah, so this is basics. This is just, yeah, you're initializing, and you're doing the remote and all of that. So I've converted this to a main branch. So this is more like, this is basic stuff for everybody. So they were actually planned that this would work out because we were invited to an empty repository. And then as a team lead, you're the first person. So I will just do a git add. So the way I'm naming this, so this is how I'm doing it on a personal note now. So this is how I name my commit message. So there are chores, there are bugs, there are features. Feature is more like when you're working on a particular feature. Let's say a login page, a particular page, basically. Chores are like when you're doing minor stuff, maybe corrections, text, something. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. Sorry, can you guys hear me? Okay. Yes. All right. So this is more like I'm just setting up folders. So I'm just so that we just know how this works out. Most of us might have just done a rushy kind of uh, message. So just so we know. So this CH here stands for chop. So because I'm just setting up my folder. If I'm fixing a bug, I will put a BG. If I'm doing a feature, I do an FT. So this is a chore, and I can just put a semicolon and just say setting so, and then mind you, please, if it's possible, if you're using the Bootstrap files, you can also add it up at once and push it so that people don't go and start downloading their own version of their own Bootstrap. Bootstrap has like varieties now. There's 4, there's 5, there's 5.1, and so on. So you have one that you want everybody to actually use, and also put it as you're pushing for the first time. So this is me setting up the folder structure, and then I am committing to main, and I am it's so I could actually just do this. So this is the first listed. So if I check here now, and then we now have see the problem now because these guys are empty now. Can't even get it. So let me just do so you can't push empty folders actually. So I'll just do this. Just see. Oh, I'm supposed to add first before doing that. Sorry if I'm too fast. So added empty files. So then you push to bin. So this part is actually this is for the team leads. So the team leads now are creating a develop branch. So you're doing so how do you create a branch? Doing git checkouts from main now. So let me confirm that this has completed actually. I have my CSS. Please don't use capital letter here. Use small letters. I want to see irregularities. Okay, so the next thing to do now is we want to create a develop branch. So git checkouts. Now you do a develop. Yeah. Yes, so git checkouts dash B actually. Creating a branch. Git checkouts dash B. And you press enter. So I've switched from the main branch to the develop branch. Now on this dev branch, so I've already committed and done everything. So I just need to do it. So let's confirm something now. So this is where you see all your branches. Are you guys with me? Can you guys hear me? All right. So this is the main branch, and you're seeing it's the only branch here, is the default branch here. So I want to also push the same thing that I have on the main branch. So I just do a git, since I've already added before, origin. So specifying the branch. Okay. So if I come here now, I check. Now say I have two branches, main and develop. Now, as a team member, so that part was for the team leads. So after doing that part, so either way, if you actually did the develop branch and the develop branch is your main branch, is the default branch, well, no issues actually. Then say for instance now, so you're supposed to get this knowledge together. And then I'll just open my folder. So this is where I have all my projects actually. So I'll just do this. Depending on you, depending on how the route you want to take. So I should actually, this is cool. So I do show more properties, and then I open git bash. Let me just do this. So depending on whichever route you want to take. So I'll do a git. Did I say? So git clone, and then you're doing this. So git clone, you're doing this, press enter. So this creates a copy of that repository for you as a team member. So I'm not going to do this because I already have this. I'm not going to do this, but for you to get this, for you to get a copy of the repository, you need to do it first. So that's for cloning. So when you clone it, you now open it with your VS Code. Then, say for instance, I am to work on the about page. So you need to open your terminal like this. So let me just clear all of this. So you need to check out if you're on any other branch, just check the branch that you're on. You can check branch by using git branch. It tells you which branch. So I am on the develop branch. If you're not on the develop branch, you just do a git check out. So this, I'm already on the develop branch. So it tells me this. Then when you're on the develop, you need to pull from the git pull origin. So what I have on my own develop branch there and what I have here, they are the same thing. So with this now, what I need to do, you're not going to be working on the main branch. You're going to be working from the develop branch. You now need to create your own branch. You are branching off develop. You're not branching. Let's say I'm working on the about page now. So I'm doing a git check out -b. Depending on how you want to name it. So it can be a feature about or about page, whatever you want to call it. So I create. So this is creating a branch from this develop. So when you do a pull, it gets all the content from the develop branch. When you branch out a particular branch, you're taking a copy of that branch and forming your own branch. So that's what happens with branching. So I am on my about branch now. Then Here now, I now create my about new file, about HTML. So I now do my HTML. Let's do this about. Okay. Then I want everybody to use different CSS files. So just do an about the CSS so that this will not complete. The only file that you people are going to share in common probably is the header and the footer. So because you're taking styles from your it's actually supposed to be uniform around all across all pages. So you have you're linking your page to the footer, the footer and the footer and header. You're going to have that means you're having two CSS links on your home page. So I'm just going to do asterisk. Whatever is here. So that's right. Just the padding 0. Okay, so just this. So when I'm done with this now, probably I still and I want to push to my own branch now. So still do a git pull origin pull from develop first before you now push git push origin. The name of your branch now, ft-about. So I have, oh, sorry. I did not even do a git add, sorry. So I'm supposed to add and commit first. Add all. This can just be, so probably I finished working on my own feature created about. Okay, so when I'm done now, pull. So it's when you've added and committed first. That's when you pull from the already up to date. And then you now push to your own branch. Now, when you push to your own branch, when you come here now, so I'm checking. So I have this about. So most times, what happens is this kind of comes out. But if this does not come out, you just switch to your own branch. Okay? Switch to your own branch. You see pull requests. Click on pull requests. Okay. You can actually do this. But if this comes out, you can just compare and you can just click on this. Now, this is the important part to note. So before you actually before you create a pull request, take a screenshot of what your page looks like on the different across. That one is, if you can cancel it on time. Because if you push to the main branch, it will go to the main branch. So as much as possible, let your head be in the game when you're doing it, when you're pushing. So when you're creating a pull request, this section that we have here, take a screenshot of your work on your laptop view, your mobile view, and your tablet view. When you do that, so let me just pick one now. I have an extension, go full page. So if I do this, this is what I have. I copy this, and copy, and then I paste it here. All right. So when I do this now, when I do this, and I am certain that everything is all right, for some people, they could also want to push to their own brand. They could, you can add another repository to your local repository. Let's say, for instance, like you can, apart from pushing to KodeCamp, if you want to boost your work so that you see if it is actually, if you're doing the right thing, you can actually add a different repository. You can just create a repository, add it, but you're not going to add it as, you're going to add it as a different name. Either you call it upstream, it cannot be origin again. It has to be something else, either upstream or maybe another name. I don't know if I should actually talk about that, but that's if you want to host, if you want to host your work on GitHub pages and share with your team lead before he now merges it, he or she actually. So when as I've posted this here, you now click on create pull requests. So when you click on create pull request, it is here like this. Now the team lead actually goes through the files changes, and then going through the file changes, you see that yes, okay, this person added, this is about HTML, okay. So the branch that he's working on is about page. So this about, that means he's working on an about page. Okay, that's right. The about.css, okay, this is all right. So when the team lead is now certain that your work is okay, the team lead now is the only person that has the right to merge. So team lead to also check. So this pull request, okay, see another problem now. I just committed a blunder now, and I need to close this pull request. So close pull request, because why am I closing this? I am closing this because this is where the person is making the pull request. So try and be mindful of where the person is making a pull request. Yes. So that's why I'm closing it. It has to be on develop. So that's why it's good that we're having this session so that somebody does not just go and make a mistake. Yes, it's supposed to compare with people. So I am going back to pull request now. I am creating a pull request. And this is comparing your out develop. So ensure that this, the base here is develop. The compare is your own branch. And you now create pull requests. You now put that image. Then, so team leads, please, if you see someone that is creating a pull request to main, you have the right to close the pull request. So create pull requests. So now this is coming from develop, from about to develop. And when you now check and there are no problems, you check the file changes, they are all right. You can now merge, it. Merge. Now merge it. It was not, this is, okay, I don't get that. So when you now merge it, yes, yes. if there is main already, you just need to create a new. So that is, yeah, no problem. Work with that. We can create a main branch afterwards if there's no main. Yeah. So if you have main, it's fine. If you have no, it's also fine. There's a way of changing that. It's just that I'm just saying the right. Then okay, then someone else. Let me just wrap this up. So let's say, for instance, someone is to work on the contacts page. So I'm checking. You need to check out Git checkouts to develop first. So you see now, when I'm on develop, all the files from about, they are not here anymore. So first thing that you do is let me just clear so that I have space. So you pull so that you get that person's work. It's pull origin. So because it has been merged now, you now have access to that person's that's about the HTML. Go full page, that's the name of the extension. So so when you do that, when you've pulled now from develop now, you now need to check out. So we want to hit checkout dash B, maybe FT contact. Okay, so we're on the contacts page. You now add your files now. You now do your contacts.css. So it's just the same cycle. I just need us. Okay, so yeah, yes, you need to. The person working on the header that needs to finish first. Or this, you work on your own branch. But before, when that person pushes, you need to pull so that you get that person's work and add it to your own before pushing, so that you get the full picture. There's no afterwards. You now come and start doing some other updates. I hope that answers your question. So, new file. Okay, so this is contacts. This is HTML5. So the same sequence, it add all its commits and yes, yes. It's best to actually yes, it's best to keep them separately so that you don't have issue, you don't have conflict. Don't mix the CSS so that you won't have conflicts. Because if you start resolving conflicts, um, ask Lovett what she saw when resolving conflicts. It's not really difficult to resolve conflicts. If anybody runs into that, just speak up so that we kind of work through that. So this is a feature. So created that page. So when you do this, you just push it, push So pull first, please. Pull from develop. So if you check and it's all right, then you can now push it. Okay, so when three people are working on, so that means they actually need to break it into parts or summing their work together. So you probably need to come up with naming convention for different parts. Or one, can you even wait for one person to finish a person's part? Or so you need to come up with conventions for the different parts. And I don't know what you like to use for your CSS names. That's another thing because I can think of maybe doing maybe a .cow. And then someone else also thinks of doing a .cow. So if we are sharing the same CSS, that will now conflict. So if two or more people are working, just break it. I came up with that one. Yeah, that can actually work, but it now depends on how fast and how serious that person is. So that is actually a route to follow. So imagine okay, Mubarak. Now imagine you have enough light in you have light, someone else does not have light. And then that person is supposed to start from somewhere. And then you're supposed to now wait for that person. You're supposed to now wait till that person gets light and then walks. That is so. So let's just let's know how. So it's either so there are different ways this can actually work. Either you work on your own part, and then you now wait till that person completes his own part before you now add your own part. But now it's in the CSS convention. So it's either you're doing it from a different CSS. Let's just talk about it on Slack actually, because my head is just going. So guys, Natasha, sorry about that. I'll send Mubarak to come and work on it. Let's just talk about it on Slack. Okay. So that's yes. So it's actually you can actually add names to classes and IDs just so that it's easier for you to do that. If you're working on a section, so it's even best. That's why I was showing us how to do direct stuff. So let's say, for instance, you're working on the contact section of a one-page system. So for that contact section, you name that section maybe with an ID or a class contact section, and then you now do contact section dot whatever. So you have the name of that section and then whatever you want to style. So I believe that answers and that can help us. But let's talk about it on Slack. So time is actually fast spent. So let's ask our questions on Slack. merit is crazy. It depends. Their design could be small. All of that. All right, guys, let's meet on Slack. Thank you for staying through the class. Thank you for paying attention and all the contributions. And Merit, thank you for being active towards the end. I was almost wondering whether you're in class. Every other person. So let's meet on Slack. Let's work on our true. Please, everybody try and contribute, because if you don't contribute, you won't be able to get. Let's chats can be distracting. That's very true. So you have to do like what's his name? Simple soul. They're like, okay, so thank you guys. Let's meet on Slack.